With Donald Trump's talk of annexation, the trade war ramping up, some Canadians, as you know, have decided not to travel to the United States. And those who do are a little concerned about what might happen at the border. Let's talk with U.S. immigration lawyer Len Saunders, who's in Blaine, Washington, just across the border from Vancouver. You're in the third busiest entry point from Canada into the States. What changes have you seen firsthand since all of the Trump tariff and 51st state talk?
Well, Ian, I think the biggest change is there's a lack of Canadians driving to the United States, right? Spring break for BC was over the last 2 weeks. There was virtually no cars coming south. I've never seen a decrease in traffic at the Blaine Peace Arch port of entry other than during COVID. And during those times, the border was closed. The border is open, but nobody's coming down. It's very quiet at the Peace Arch port of entry.
You have Canadian clients. What kind of concerns are you hearing from them?
Well, all my clients are Canadian. So 99% of my clients are Canadian, whether they're in Vancouver, Toronto, or somewhere in the prairies. And people are scared. They hear these stories. They hear these stories of the Canadians being taken into custody on the southern border. From a couple of weeks ago, you hear these stories of the students having their visas revoked and deported. So Canadians are scared. They're scared to come down here right now because of all the rhetoric. It's almost the perfect storm that's happened since this new administration took over. And there's a lot of businesses in my area, in Blaine and south in Bellingham, that are hurting.
And another set of stories we're hearing about is people having their phones looked at, and if the content is not what the border guards like, that might create problems. I don't know how much truth there is to these stories, but what's your advice to Canadians about what they should be concerned about if they're thinking of crossing the border?
Well, definitely be concerned of what you have on social media. So if there's something on your phone you don't want the American officers to see, either don't bring your phone with you or scrub it, right? Anything social media that the Americans don't like, not so much that you don't like Trump, but any organizations that may not be in favor of the United States, don't have that on your phone. Downplay any social media, because if the American officers see that, they may not let you into this country.
So you show up at the border, you haven't done anything illegal, but you're getting a hard time from Homeland Security. What options do Canadians have at that point?
Well, if you come through one of the airports, Vancouver Airport, Pearson, Trudeau, at any point you can say, I'm leaving, because you're still on Canadian soil. If you're actually on the land border crossing, they can hold you for a while. I tell clients, you don't have to self-incriminate. It's better to say nothing than admit to whatever they're trying to get you to admit to. The other thing is, you can just say you're not going to give out your password. That's called uninspectable. So if you're not inspectable and you don't give out your password to your cell phone, you will be denied entry, but at least you may get in another day and not be barred for life.
And if something like that happens, I always feel like there might be a notation put on someone's file, my file, saying, don't let this guy in again, or red flag me for the next time. Does that happen?
Oh, absolutely. You will be red flagged if you're denied entry or withdraw your application for entry at an airport. So expect to be questioned next time, but maybe wait until this administration is over and you won't have any problems. But the last 2 months have been crazy from my point of view as an immigration lawyer who's been doing this next to the third busiest port of entry on the northern border for 25 years. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, that says a lot, given your experience and given your area of expertise. We're going to check in with you again in a couple of weeks to see how things are going, Len. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian. Have a good night.
Len Saunders, an immigration lawyer in Blaine in Washington State.